1.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders.
These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line.
This is going to be a live trading video here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade.
Wow, I'd love to get in on this.
Technical insights that really look good to me.
Here we go. We're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Today is a very, very busy day. Sometimes we get on the stream, not a lot is going on, but today is different. We got a lot of stuff happening. Maybe you guys saw my video yesterday about the US dollar. Man, this US dollar is going crazy. Things are just absolutely moving for the DXY and also for the Japanese yen. We've got a lot to talk about, so settle in, buckle in. Welcome to the stream. Thanks very much for being here. Before we jump into everything, I will just say a quick hello to some of the people in the chat. Good to see Dade, who's a moderator here. Thank you, Dade, for being here and helping out. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Calvin, Victor, Dr. Geary, Joseph, Ian G, Mark, Kashvan, Evan, Atul, Craig, Eros, and Trader Bart. What's up, you guys? Hey, Bart, how you doing, man? Ashish, Bart, by the way, writes some of our articles on our website, so go check out some of his content there. He also helps to manage our Telegram channel, and he does a great job at that. So good to see Bart in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Special shout out to my friends who are in the chat here right at the beginning. We've got so much stuff going on, and there's a lot to cover, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it today. The US dollar is on fire. Things are flying for the DXY, and any US dollar currency pair right now that you look at is really moving, doing something special here. So let's try and break it down. In case you didn't see my video yesterday, we'll do a quick recap on the news that came out. So we essentially had some big hawkish tone concepts come out from the Fed. Now, if you don't know what the Fed is, if you're brand new to trading, the Fed is essentially they deal with our monetary policy here in the US. They decide if we're going to raise interest rates, if we're going to lower interest rates. They monitor things like unemployment and inflation, and they try and make decisions to keep the economy rolling smoothly. Well, the Fed came out yesterday and they were super positive in their outlook for the upcoming months and years for the US economy. Now, when the biggest economy, or the most impactful economy in the whole world, and their monetary policy sounds very good, obviously it creates a very big stir for the US dollar. So what they basically said is that they are saying we could see 2 hikes before the end of 2023. Okay. The reason that this is a big deal is this is more than what was expected. And you're talking about the biggest, most stable economy in the world, right? Everybody wants to buy US bonds, US everything, because, we have a very, very strong leading economy in many, many ways. Not to say that there aren't other strong economies and other places to invest, but the US is, obviously it has a lot of impact. It is sort of right now considered the global reserve currency, and a place where a lot of people want to invest, both domestic and international. So we had news from the Fed that basically people said, or the Fed mentioned 2 rate hikes by the end of 2023. Now, if you're going to hike rates, what that means is that you are fairly confident in the economy, right? Because usually rate hikes are to combat inflation and to keep things under steady control as we continue to chug along. 2 rate hikes by the end of 2023, that sounds very bullish. And so the US is, the US dollar absolutely flew in response to that. Why did the US dollar, respond to that? Well, you have stocks and you have things to invest in, obviously. But when rate hikes come, well, that makes it a little bit harder for borrowers. It's a little bit harder for people to go buy houses. It's a little harder for businesses to go borrow money. And you might say, well, that sounds like a bad thing. That's bad for the economy. Well, it's not that it's bad. It's just that because things are going very well, the Fed has basically taken a tone of, they're going very well. Let's just slow it down and start to, pull back just a bit here and just keep things steady. Rising, in an economy that blows up too fast is actually dangerous as well. It can cause hyperinflation and problems like that the Fed doesn't want to deal with either. So a nice rate hike or 2 rate hikes by the end of 2023, incredibly bullish sentiment there for the US dollar, and has since sort of turned my, I'm definitely not interested in shorting the dollar right now, which is very different than what I was saying even yesterday. And the thing is, when it comes to this stuff, there's no point for me to be stubborn. There's no point for me to, deny what I'm seeing. This for me is pretty bullish for the US dollar. And at the very least, I'm going to pause on shorting the US dollar. Okay. So in response to inflation, with response to everything, the Fed has basically come out and said, hey, we're going to be doing some rate hikes, and that is considered very bullish for the US dollar. And you will see it across the board. I bet you guys are probably already seeing it in your own charts that you're trading. The DXY, here's the US dollar. The US dollar absolutely slamming through resistance today, which is a big deal. We had all these levels that seem to hold. And this is what I mean when I say, you guys, technical analysis is great, and it's something that I use, but it cannot be the only thing for me because of this event right here. This is not something that I don't think you could see this coming with technicals. Sometimes people will try and make the argument, but I think that sometimes the market just has new information that absolutely changes things, and that is what drives the market. So fundamentally now, the US dollar sort of looks like a bargain. It sort of looks like a discount. It's been beaten down for quite a while. And so if they're talking about raising rates, the US dollar might be, ready to keep going higher, especially if this does a good, proper job at combating that inflation. It can curb that little inflation fear that we were dealing with and that I kept talking about during this time. So again, a shift in sentiment here. What this means for me is probably still risk on overall, meaning that I'm more interested in trading things like dollar yen, dollar Swiss franc. Those things sound pretty good to me. So let's look around. I hope that was helpful. Trader Bart says, well explained. Thank you, man. Yeah. So again, I might sound a little bit different than I did yesterday. But again, I'm not about, when it comes to markets, being stubborn is sort of dangerous. So as this thing down below, just below me says, we are sponsored by TradingView. That is a huge privilege for us just to be able to be partnered with such a fantastic platform. Everything that you see on the charts here, this is tradingview.com. If you're a newer trader and you are looking for a new charting platform, if you're, maybe you're using one of the older platforms or something like that, I would highly encourage you to check out TradingView. I think it really does take your charting to the next level very easily because you've got all these amazing tools. You can look up, there's different news events, and you can set alerts, and you can do calendar stuff and all this amazing, features. You can draw many, many different tools very quickly and very easily. And I don't know, I find it looks very, very smooth. So with that said, TradingView, big shout out to them for supporting us. Obviously, these streams cost money. We have an office, we have a team, it costs money to do what we do and to share free content for you guys. So TradingView has been awesome to step in and support what we do. So let's make sure to support them by checking out their platform. Try it out. If you can get a free platform there or a free account there. I used a free account for a long time, and then ever since I got premium, it was like no questions asked. It is worth the money. It is worth getting it, because again, if you're going to be taking your trading seriously, it's just nice to have the right tools, and TradingView I think provides that. So what can we do with the dollar now that I've completely contradicted myself here? What can we do about it? So again, I was sort of making the point that it's dangerous, in my opinion, when it comes to markets, to be stubborn, right? I could sit here and say, oh, well, the dollar, it's going down. It's got to come down. It's too high, right? And I could sit there and play that game. And trust me, I've done that before. And it's usually a very, very losing game to try and fight there's an old adage, an old saying that is, don't fight the Fed. And the idea with the Fed is, when don't fight the Fed, is they're like the most powerful, influential monetary policy setters in the entire world. So when they come up with an idea or they come up with a big plan, obviously they want to encourage they're looking to strengthen the dollar, or maybe not trying to strengthen the dollar, but at least combat this inflation. When the Fed comes out with a mission, the old saying is, don't fight the Fed. And so again, for me, I've learned my lesson fighting the Fed many times before, so I'm not going to fight the Fed. I'm going to probably focus on dollar bullishness until further notice. So again, all of those levels that were red, we got to draw them in as green now because they are potential supports. If price does decide to pull back here, you can see these green massive candles here to the upside as things have gone very nicely for the US dollar so far after all the news that came out. Pullbacks here for me are the name of the game. Now you might say, well, Nick, if you wait for a pullback, you're never going to get it. And trust me, there are many times where I wait for a pullback and I do not get it. And it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit frustrating. And I write it in my diary at night. It makes me cry a little bit, but it's not too much because every once in a while you catch the pullback, things work out really well, and it's worth being patient. So couple tiers, worth the wait though. If it can pull back, I will look for potential long setups. If it doesn't, I will wait longer. So my diary will become very full of notes and love letters and all that stuff. So with the dollar bullishness here, like I said, the biggest thing for me is looking for pullback. So why don't we jump into some of the ones that are out here? We got to really we're doing our homework today, you guys, because things are just different now. With this US dollar bullishness, all those US dollar crosses that we've been talking about, we got a lot of work to do. So let's get to it. Everybody get their diaries ready, okay? Evan says, write in the diary and cry every night. Hey, welcome to being a trader. Discount code for the Discord. If you're looking to join, by the way, it's in the description. If you're not in our Discord already, there's a link there and a promo code that is it's the top of the description. Chat is on fire today. We got a lot to talk about, you guys. What do you think? Do you guys agree with me? Let me know. I just want to see really quick. What do you guys think? Do you think the dollar is bullish? Do you think the dollar is, or do you think I'm wrong about this? Because I could be wrong. I poured through everything yesterday. And as soon as I saw, the Fed start talking about this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is game changing. This is what happened to the CAD the other week or the other month, I guess. We had right here the CAD, the Canadian Central Bank said, hey, we are starting the process of tapering. And that's a huge monetary policy shift that caused this massive downturn on the CAD that lasted for weeks. So again, with the US dollar looking like that right now, coming out with big news like that, I think I'm not overreacting. I think it has potential to keep going. So when we look at things like Euro USD, I'm potentially bearish on things like this. Okay, agree. Lots of bullishness. I think the dollar is bullish, but I wish it wasn't. Skylar, it's one of those things. Sometimes we got to just go with what we see rather than what we want to see. But I'm kind of with you. I wish my thesis would have worked a little bit better. Ivan says, look at the retail sentiment. Let's look at that. Ivan, I want to chat with you about this because I'm not sure where are we at. Ivan, do you want to come on today? I know this is sort of spur of the moment, but if you want to come on, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you'll come and just put me in my place and be like, no, it's not, all this and that. Oh, look at this retail sentiment. So Euro USD, everyone went long. Everyone on GBP USD, everyone went long. Dollar yen, everyone went short. Look at this, you guys. This is beautiful. This is unique setups right here. I'm trying to look for Ivan's comment. If he wants to come on, he's more than welcome to come on and just chat with me. Go, Ivan. Yeah, if he comes on, I'd love to chat with him. But okay, so yeah, Ivan made the point that retail sentiment is super flipped. This is very different than we saw even a week ago. Even a week ago, we saw the dollar yen looking very different than this, the pound dollar looking very different than this. So it seems like we've got a drastic shift in sentiment. Everyone on the retail side seemed to have went short on the dollar as soon as it spiked like that. So big deal there. Send me the link. I'll come on in 5 minutes. Hey, let's do 15 minutes because I want to just go through some of my charts and then absolutely. Miles, do you think you could send Ivan the chart? Miles is on it, you guys. We got Miles in the building. We got Ivan coming into the building from all the way over in Europe. Somehow he's making it just because of the internet. Super cool. Club's going up on a Thursday now, guys. We got Ivan showing up. Thank you very much for everybody who's being here, by the way. We got 600 viewers right now. Very cool to see everybody. These streams are blowing up lately. We've got so many people tuning in. So we got lots to talk about, guys. I'm going to speed up because if Ivan comes on in 15 minutes, come on at 9:30 a.m. For us, that would be awesome. And we can get him set up with a link and tuned in there. Would love to hear his thoughts. But yeah, I mean, again, I think I'm fairly bullish on the US dollar. I don't think I'm overreacting. Where's the like, says Grown Man Gamer. Yeah, drop a like if you guys are enjoying it. Let's keep going here. So euro dollar, what do we have to say here? Well, on the daily chart, we came close. We really did, you guys. I really thought, I kept pointing it out. I pointed out this level here over and over again. Hopefully, you know, nobody had calls on this spot if you trade options somehow on Forex, but because it looks like price never quite made it to this level before it absolutely tanked. And I got to really revise some of my thesis here on the US dollar crosses, because I really thought like my target for the euro dollar was a move back to retest the highs. We did not get it. So we never made it to 1.235, even though I kept talking about it. Who knows? Maybe it will absolutely, you know, somehow make it there by the end of the year. Very much just going to depend on what the dollar says. And this is why it's hard to predict long term where things are going. But again, that's not even my style. So I'll make these sort of targets or ideas of where things could go, but I'm open to adjusting them because as a trend trader, I am reactionary, not necessarily into predicting, right? Because I'm looking to, if I'm long in this thing, right? When I was looking for long setups on the euro, I'm looking to get in a pullback, try grab some of it. You know, if it works out, I'll trail stops, and hey, maybe it goes way past my target. But I don't usually use take profits or targets on my trades anyways for a reason, because markets do weird things. And when they go in your favor, I like to just let them do something crazy if they want to, right? So euro dollar, very, very different tone today. We did put in this high right around here at 1.225. We were off by one digit there. Instead of 1.235, we only made it to 1.225, put in that resistance point and now selling off here on the daily chart. And guys, we got to look at the daily for a couple different things today. Because of all of this major shift in sentiment, we got to reevaluate a lot of these different currency pairs. So let's get to it. So euro dollar selling off here today. Where could we see this thing going? Where is there any pullback setups, et cetera? Well, here's the trend line that we just completely obliterated recently. Price broke to the downside, retested it, and kept going lower. So where can we look for opportunities? Well, I like the idea here of a retracement here. Again, going back to that DXY, looks a lot similar to this, except inverted. We broke out and then we kept going lower here today. If it does decide to give us a pullback or a discount there, maybe an opportunity to look for shorts, but there's a lot of resistance overhead, at least from what I see. For the time being on the Euro USD as the dollar becomes strong here. So again, very big red candles and a lot of retail sentiment, like Ivan pointed out, is looking sort of long. They're trying to buy this thing. And again, not to say that retail crowds can't ever be right. It's just that they usually are not. So they're usually fighting great big trends and usually shorting things that are going up and buying things that are going down very strongly. So right now we're seeing that right now. Love the channel. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate the support. And if you guys are, of course, enjoying the streams, do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we do this Monday through Friday. It is completely free for you guys. Thanks to our sponsors, we are able to continue to show up and do what we love, which is talking about trading and support a team of people who help us with that mission. So again, if you are enjoying the stream, the best thing you can do, it's completely free. Smash the like button down below and come back and hang out with us in the future. We got lots of people coming on. I think Ivan is going to be joining us in 12 minutes. Is Ivan coming on for sure? Is that happening? Cool. Ivan's coming on in 12 minutes or so. So we're very privileged. So excited. All right, now let's talk about some support levels. Just some things to think about here with the euro dollar. So the euro dollar, should it keep going down? Obviously, you've got to mark this level here just because this is such a key major spot overall. Let me see. We'll go put that as demand, extend these out, and things are looking so different than they were just a few days ago on the Euro USD. I mean, look at this. You're talking about these two candles here erasing like a month and a half of trading. You're talking about where we were in April being hit right now in June. That's a lot of price action. Look at all that price action to make those gains erased in just a few red candles. And this is the craziness about markets. Things can change on a dime. What was so bullish yesterday can be so bearish today. So definitely. So yes, it is confirmed, you guys. Ivan is going to be joining us on the stream. No pressure to him, but he's got to explain everything and get things going. So we'll have him come on in just 10 minutes or so. And let's keep going. So that's the euro dollar. Let's talk about the pound dollar. Pound dollar, you guys, is tricking me out because I wanted to be bullish on this thing. I still honestly like the GBP, but I don't like it so much against the dollar now. And this was one that I wanted to go long. You guys heard me say it like 20,000 times. I wanted to go long in this pair, but I just got to wait. I got to see something, that gives me confidence to go long or short. So I don't want to trade this one. This one is off the radar for me now. I would like to trade GBP pairs, but not pound dollar. So the reason with that right now is just because of all this bullishness. I don't want to jump in front of, shorting the dollar or anything like that. So again, putting in this resistance, we never quite made it out of the range here. And we talked about this 50 bajillion and a half times. We talked about this level right here, chopping back and forth. Can we get the break? Can we get the retest? Can we go higher? We never saw it. So there was no trade set up to actually take any trades there for me. So I basically sat on the sidelines for a long time. And then when it did start retracing, I was like, okay, maybe I'll look for a long setup. But then with this dollar and positive news, it's just sidelines for me at the very least with the pound dollar. And again, just gonna take our time with that. Again, we got Ivan coming on in just a few minutes, guys. So stay tuned. Definitely would like to see where he's at. Ivan, give me just a few minutes. I know you're backstage here. I know he's itching to come on and teach us all a lesson. He's gonna yell at me. He's gonna be like, Nick, don't you ever go long in the dollar. We've both been short. Don't give up now. I can see him backstage. He's laughing. So he is coming on. So I'm gonna tease you guys just a little bit longer before you get some data from Ivan. But I'm sure he has some great stuff. So pound dollar, again, overall strong, but retracing really sharp here, and also kind of putting in this double top here at 1.42. So again, pause on the bullish thesis there for me on the pound dollar, not the pound, because I do like the pound and I also like the dollar. So I don't usually trade things that I am bullish on both of. So again, that's where I'm at with the pound dollar here for now. Let's take a look at gold. I will take a quick look at this one. I'm sure Ivan and I will chat about this one again, but I just want to give you guys a quick rundown on this. This thing is absolutely just changed. Look at this. So same kind of concept. You're talking about gains that were made since about the start of May. All of that gain erased in just a few short trading days. You're talking about 8% run up on gold, which is a significant move for the price of gold, erased in just what is that? 16 days? I guess if you consider this, but really the bulk of it happening just in 6 days. The bulk of that sold off in 6 days of price action. Absolutely nasty. If you were long on gold, then rest in pieces. But if you're short on gold, then Merry Christmas in June. But the idea here is that with the dollar becoming so strong, it is a little bit contradictory to gold. Now, the other thing that I mentioned before on gold is that you have these concerns around inflation, but when the Fed comes out like this, and I know Ivan has something to say on this, so the inflation being so much of a concern, a week ago, with the Fed talking about raising rates, the idea is that if that happens on as they say, or as they have been foretelling, if that happens, that could be a great combat to inflation. Combat to inflation, not good for gold, because remember, gold usually profits from it, usually gains off of the back of inflationary concerns on major fiat currencies like the US dollar. So with this thing pulling back like this, is there trade setups on the long side? Maybe, but the fact that it didn't even really stop at the 50% retracement, you'd never even really held support well from here, is really, really concerning just for the bullish perspective, especially if we back out, you guys. Look at this weekly chart. We are actually putting in a very sharp lower high here. So even though all that bullishness came in here, and remember, I was bullish on the dollar, so I'm not saying like oh, see, I knew this was going to happen. I did not know this was going to happen. In fact, I thought the Fed was going to reiterate, hey, we're not interested in raising rates. We're going to be, on the sidelines. Inflation is not a big deal. And that was going to keep me bearish on the dollar, but that's not what we got. So these lower highs here on gold from a higher time frame perspective, it's just a question of whether or not, those inflation concerns are truly gone, or if, if gold is going to find a way to rebound. I mean, you are getting a steep decline here. So if you are a bull on gold, there may be some great setups to think about. But again, for me, pause on the gold bullishness just because this lower high is a big signal. We did not get a break up to 1950 like I was thinking we would. So again, kind of just paused on this until further stuff develops. If I'm not really interested in shorting gold because this thing, sort of naturally over time goes up. I usually don't like to short things like the S&P 500 or the gold market because those things sort of over time naturally go up. And so it's not that I won't ever take a short. If there's really a great one, maybe I'd look to short it. Maybe there was some good catalysts or day trades that the short traders could have taken advantage of. But for me as a swing trader, I'd prefer to be long in gold when it's setting up. So for me right now, gold is sort of just a pause until further development. So yes, that is pretty much what we're looking at. One pair that I'm very interested in myself is dollar yen. So check this out. Dollar yen. The yen is actually also getting strong too. Real quick before we look at dollar yen, let me show you guys this. So retail sentiment obviously is very short on the dollar yen, which is an interesting thing by itself. But also on the currency heat map, check this out. That's not the currency heat map. Let's go back. The currency heat map right here, check this out. The yen is also strong. So it seems like we're getting a big push into risk off environment currencies, right? We're seeing the yen get very strong. I guess not entirely because the Swiss franc is sort of bearish today, but for some reason the yen is very strong. In fact, I'm not exactly sure why, but with that yen, I am more interested, if anything, if I had to choose between these two, I would definitely pick the dollar over the yen. So for me, when I'm looking at this with the dollar pulling back against the yen, I like the idea of potential pullbacks here. You've got some nice levels to think about should things, retrace a bit further. A 50% retracement from this big spike could be a big deal. Something like this right around this zone here is very interesting to me. So let me go ahead and mark that area. Again, we're approaching it fairly quickly, seeing a lot of volatility on this thing. So what was resistance here now potentially becomes support. You've got also, if you're picky, you've got this level as well. So it looks like as it pulls back, could be a nice buying opportunity for me based on my trading style. So I may be watching that one closely. Of course, if I take any trades, you guys will see them in the private Discord. I took one today, got smoked, did not go well, but hopefully we can find some better ones to play out. But again, not every trade is a winner, and fortunately, not every trade is a loser either. So looking for some setups on dollar yen. If it does pull back a bit further, looking for potentially long setups if the price action lines up. Okay. So is there anything else? I wanted to take a look at dollar CAD. Last one before we get Ivan on here. So dollar CAD is super bullish, and it seems like Frank is always one step ahead. Frank was like bullish on dollar CAD like last week. He was pointing out the fact that it was sort of rounding out on the bottom, that the Canadian unemployment was at a higher rate than the US is, and this and that. And I told him, I'm still bearish on this thing. Maybe if it pulls back and gives some good opportunities to go short, I'd be interested. But I think I sort of paused on shorting this thing down here just because, again, it was quite extended, and preferred to wait for a setup on the short side. Is that short setup still valid? It's tough for me to short the dollar right now. But if we get something further that is maybe very positive for the Canadian dollar, or if we get something from the Fed that's like, backpedaling a little bit, that could also be very, very interesting to potentially short the USD CAD should it come up a bit further. But again, overall, still a strong downtrend there. I still like the Canadian currency and I like the US dollar. So we're really changing up the ones that we are looking at right now. So with that said, that is all I've got. But I do want to see from you guys' very favorite, Ivan FX. Let's bring him in. Ivan, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. And yes, I'm gonna yell at you.
I knew it. I was waiting for it. I knew I needed somebody to whip the bull a little bit. So what do we got? What are you thinking about the dollar real quick, Ivan?
Well, first of all, facts. Are we cutting interest rates today? No. We are closer to cutting interest rates, no, increasing interest rates, but we're not there yet. It is still end of 2022, 2023, two rate hikes at that point. So
Right.
today, yes, there is a change. There is more bullishness coming in from the Fed, but we still have taper. No, sorry. We still have the bond purchases. We still have the low interest rates. The economy in America hasn't changed. It's just that realization of the Fed, okay, there is more inflation than we kind of hoped for, but we're still good. And
Yes.
another thing is that the markets going higher is okay. That is within the framework. So stock market being high.
Sure. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I think, for me with the dollar, it's not that I'm like, oh, I want to buy the dollar and hold it for 15 years. It's for me, it's like, okay, this is just a different sounding tune from the Fed than we've had for a little while. So if anything, for me, it's like, maybe in the next month, I could see the dollar doing some rebound because it's been beaten down like crazy. We both probably had some great dollar short trades off the back of, I was, inflation's a concern, all this and that. It's not even that it's just like, oh, the dollar's absolutely, sound and it's going to rally forever. It's more for me that it's like, okay, this is just a difference in tone that haven't seen for a little while in the Fed. And, for me, it looks like I'm more interested in at least sidestepping some of the dollar short positions that I was willing to take. Where are you at? Are you like actively willing to look for shorts on the dollar? You think it's overhyped? Is that where you're at with it? Like short term, or what do you think?
I think that those who sold dollar back in May 2020 are now exiting. So we are now just in the first phase of exiting whatever we did back then, taking profit basically.
Sure.
Now, the question becomes, how do you interpret that? The rise in dollar, is this now the new dollar rise for this new month? I don't think so, because we still haven't increased interest rates and we have not tipped over.
Sure.
We are still doing very well, and the dollar will then, in my view, start being aggressively higher when we are stopping to increase interest, when we are at the other tip, when we are too hot.
Yes, and that's a good point. I think it kind of reminds me of so the ECB a few months ago was interesting because the ECB was like, okay, well, we predict or we see a better second half of 2021. Before that, it was like I was short the euro like every other day. I was like shorting it. And then as soon as that came out, it was like a shift and the euro started to rise dramatically. So for me, I think like I trace a little bit more like the sentiment and I just try and ride the sentiment a little bit. And, same thing with the euro. So I was looking for long setups on the euro for the last month or two, and those were playing out very well. So again, I think with the dollar, for me, at the very least, it's like you said, there's profit taking. We've been quite extended to the downside for the dollar. The dollar has done, some great short setups for a while now. So for me, it is at the very least, stepping away from some of the shorts that I was so willing to take a week ago, and to at least consider the idea of looking for long setups in the short term, see if there's any momentum trades that could be off the back of this. I'm not sure which one of us is longer or shorter term, because it might be a little bit different there. I'm usually in a trade for anywhere from 1 day to like 2 weeks. That's like my range. What are you at?
I'll have someone to say, okay, I can hold for 3 months.
Okay.
I try. That's what my average, but that's my longest I can take. So
sure,
the smallest is 1 day because I got stopped out. But if I can hold it for 1 month, I think should be our average. Like 3 to 4 weeks should be my average, and then holding for 3 months, hopefully. What if I've been trying to notice is that the ECB has trying to devaluate the euro.
Yes.
They're increasing or being aggressive now with their bond purchases to devalue euro. What is euro doing? Going up because of the Fed. Now, so they're really not comfortable having at 1.20, 1.25. They want it to go lower, lower, lower.
Right.
The other thing that I want to say is that what are we going to do now? We're coming into summer. Volatility is supposed to die out. We are supposed to go for holiday. So my expectation now is we're just going to a range, hopefully, because that's supposed to do.
That definitely makes sense. They say what's the phrase on Wall Street? It's like step away in May or something like that. There's like a sell stocks and go away or something like that. I always forget the phrase, but
sell in May, go away.
Yeah, sell in May, go away. That's it. Yeah. So again, kind of an interesting take on it for sure. Going into summer could be quiet. Do you have anything you want to show on your screen? You want to share your screen and show us anything?
Do you have anything to share? I have always something to share.
No, you don't. You don't have a single thing. I don't believe you. All right, guys, let's see what Ivan's got. You got a screen there. All right, you're in charge.
Yeah. So what I'm just mentioning here, that whoever short a dollar is now taking profit because there is now a change for Fed, that they are acknowledging that we have what we didn't have here, we have now. And if you're looking into gold, I have been shattered. And this is my last price I have mentioned. I have mentioned 1863. I mentioned 1836 or somewhere around here. And we are just falling. Now, are we going to continue that? I don't know. I don't think so. Because what is really gold and oil really reacting off? CPI. And that's going to continue. And if you saw on my last slide that we're going to have CPI coming in at 3.3 next year, that's a very good year. And 33% this year and 2.1 next year. That's a very good year. And GDP at 7% for 2021 and 3.3 in 2022, still very, very hot economy. So I think gold is still going to rise. I think this is a shock. This is just to take profit for short term, and then might be wrong. You might be wrong, and I love that one of us is going to be right.
Well, I'm never wrong. So no. Good luck to you. But I'm kidding. I could totally be wrong. So, but maybe Ivan who will be right this time. We'll see.
Yeah, but one thing I want to mention out though, tapering. When can we see actual taper? End of Q20 and end of this year maybe, or start of next year.
Sure.
Just in line of my dollar strength, I'm hoping to see in January 2022. So, looking into the future.
Yep, it's and that's the thing. The markets don't trade off of just right now, and I think that is, to your point, some of the the challenging the thesis there of the dollar is like, we got to see some of these things materialize. It's one thing to say rate hikes, but it's another thing to actually see it. It was kind of like when first the Euro ECB when they said, hey, 2021 is going to be a great second half for us. Everyone, myself included, was kind of like, you can say that, but where are the numbers? What's the, all that sort of stuff? Really, you got to kind of see it materialize before it, because you can say anything you want. They sometimes, for example, if the Fed wants something to happen, they can say something. If they want a cheaper dollar, then they can say, oh, we're not going to do anything about inflation. It's like they kind of have that control to dictate price a bit, especially the biggest one, the Fed.
Yeah, but you also have the perfect storm, as also Jerome Powell mentioned, the the logging, the tree prices have skyrocketed, and it's kind of the perfect storm where right now with COVID, you have constraints in the ability to give timber to the people, and therefore also prices goes up because people have more money, demand goes up, supply is still is lower than what it should be. So it's kind of like this perfect storm of overheating so far. And what kind of shocked or surprised the Fed was that it was more sustained bottlenecks, like these constraints of the supply. So right now, were longer than they thought. So once those are resolved, once we also remember, we still have a trouble of getting things from China to America that people won't be able to sell as much as they thought. So there's still challenges in the economy. It's still just now everything is red hot. We might be, but there are still challenges to that view that
Definitely.
what if? What if?
Yeah,
we
and
go
that was
to
the thing, because like when I was looking at it last week, not that I tried to like forecast what was going to happen. I guess everyone's kind of trying, but my thought was, the last things being said with the Fed is they were kind of like, we're not quite where we want to be to raise rates. We're still seeing issues. We're still seeing, compared to some of the other countries, maybe, countries like Canada could be a little bit better off with their, they've got the supply that's in such high demand and, with oil doing well. So, but it's a little bit different with the US because like you're saying, with that bottleneck situation, with the whole economy still rebounding, there's a lot of work to do across the whole world, the U.S. included. Raising rates it's something that is in the distance. It's more just a question of how far away really is it, and that's the game of trying to value the dollar or any major currency with what they're saying.
And another thing where the Danske Bank has been saying for, I don't know, a year or so that, oh, euro dollar is going to 115. Like, what's up? Like look out for that. We're going to sell euro, we're going to sell euro. And now we are at least falling towards it. But that is implying that we are tapering. We are not there yet.
Right.
So breathe, come back on Monday. Let's see what the dollar do. And if it still rises, then there are still trade plans in that direction until it doesn't. So I'm going to go with your flow and say, follow the trend as long as the dollar is still rising. Great.
Sure.
But once it starts falling again,
be on the cautionary side. And that's the thing. I think we probably have a similar trading style in the sense that just from a purely technical perspective, let's say I did take some long trades on the dollar, I find some setups that I like. If I get stopped out and things come out from the Fed that are like, still not like it's not as bullish as you thought it was, I could definitely flip back the other way. But for me, like right now, it is sort of a sentiment shift. It is something different from the Fed that I was, like I said, I was fully expecting them just to say, hey, we're downplaying inflation, we're not where we're at yet, and all that. That's what we kept hearing over and over. So any sort of shift at least has me like considering the idea of some retracements on the dollar, which I think you mentioned too, with the whole profit taking and a lot of longer term bears on the dollar, probably just taking some money off the table.
I have a good analogy here. I guess this is like the weekend candy. I don't know if you got that, but when you were a kid, you were given weekend candy. But if you were not a good boy, you would be constrained from that. So what the Fed has done now, they're warning you, we will take away the candy from you. So now there is this outcry, you're crying, you're distressed, you're like, I still want my candy. Don't take away my candy. So you're just saying that, hey, we're gonna do it if you don't behave well. And we haven't done it yet. You still have the candy. We're still there. Nothing has changed. You still have it in your hand. It's
right.
Just what if? No,
that's an interesting analogy, and it definitely works for me. I had a lot of candy when I was a kid, so that's great analogy. I like it.
Awesome. So for me, yeah, just follow the trend. Don't do anything. Don't do anything miraculously. And right now, if you're trying to buy euro dollar, buy pound dollar, please go back to your strategy. What is your strategy? What is your rules? Is your rules to buy a falling knife? Is it to buy the lowest low? It's not mine, so I'm totally out of it.
And it's a great reminder to everybody out there who is watching, whether you agree that the dollar is bullish or you think it is overhyped, wherever you're at with it, you should just make sure that you have a strategy, because you don't want to take a massive amount of risk in this excitement, just because you can be wrong either ways, whether you're bullish or bearish. It can totally go further up. It can also crash right back down. So definitely make sure that for those of you guys in the audience hanging out with us, please be careful. Please stick to your risk management plans. If you don't have a risk management plan, please stop trading. If you don't have a trading plan in general, it's very dangerous to be approaching these things, especially when we get these high spikes in volatility. I'm sure that there were a lot of people who got smoked on gold, despite Ivan and I always talking about, like, please be careful on those high volatility instruments. But again, just a reminder, like Ivan said, whatever your opinion is, don't let your opinion, don't get married to something that can get you in a lot of trouble. Just date.
But also, what I remembered the other day, I think it was an NFP meeting or whatever it was, or a CPI, it doesn't really matter, where price went lower and it went higher again and then started falling. I can't remember which day it was, but I guess it was within the past 2 months. So whatever we see right now, yes, what we're seeing right now is a euro dollar falling. Yes, gold is falling. Yes, the world is crashing. But it's not going to end forever. Now remember what I wanted to say earlier. Even though you are a buyer or seller, it doesn't really matter, because overall you're going to be given monthly setups. We are not going to fall forever. So even though I'm against the trend on some of the times, I'm either break even or a bit of profit. So it's not totally a waste of being a seller in a bullish market, because you still get those. Still can get 300 or 400 pip moves over in the second half of the year, even though generally we are going to rise on your dollar in the end, generally speaking.
Right. Well, Ivan, I think that's probably going to wrap us up today. I appreciate everything you had to take on. I knew when I was talking about it, I was like, I think Ivan is going to come with the textbook in here and he's going to slap it down on the table and he's going to say, Nick, you dummy. Curb your bullishness, you ginormous bullheaded idiot. So I appreciate
run away with it. Take it, run away with it.
Well, I do appreciate the commentary and just having that other side perspective. It definitely, like I said, I think that short term there may be some opportunities for my trading style to just run with the momentum here. But like you're saying, whatever you're at with the dollar, whether you're bullish or bearish, we can all make money. But the thing is, like, you can make money on the long side or the short side. Right now, somebody who is short biased in the dollar could make money on the dollar, while somebody who is long biased in the dollar could also make money, because you could ride the momentum. Then the longer term trend could come back into play, something like that. It's possible for both people to make money, but the people who lose money certainly are people who gamble and go all in and they let their emotions dictate their trading. So please don't let that be you, like we're saying. Ivan, thank you very much for coming on, man. Appreciate your commentary. As always, good to have you on.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Before I go there, I do want to remind you to make sure, if you're not already following Ivan on YouTube, he's a great guy. I really love his commentary on everything. And you can find him on YouTube at IvanFX on YouTube. Like I said, go give him a follow. He's underrated on YouTube, but he's on the come up and he deserves more followers there for sure. He's also one of our guest speakers or guest hosts on our second channel, A1 Trading on YouTube. You can also find him every week on Tuesdays. Down below in the description is the second link there. Before I do go, guys, I want to remind you, if you're not already inside of our private Discord, any trades that I am taking, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, are down below in the description. You can join our private Discord. I'll show you what it looks like. I got smoked today on a trade, but outside of that, I've had some pretty decent trade setups. So I got burnt on CAD yen today. Did not hold the level I was hoping for. But again, whether I win or lose, I take trades and I share them inside of the private Discord. If you're not in our Discord already, there is a link down below in the description. And if you made it to the end here, use the promo code there, because you're going to get access for a cheaper price. So just enter the promo code that is down there. It's the first link in the description to sign up to join the membership. If you are interested, I highly encourage you, at least try it for 1 month. Just see, if you like it, great. You can stick around for the long term. And if you don't, then no worries. You can keep coming back to the streams and content for free. But I think that you will be very pleasantly surprised. We got a lot more content available inside of the private Discord. You see my trades, Frank's trades, Patrick's trades. All of these are sort of our trading team here at A1 Trading. We put out weekly research for our members, things like deep dives on the US dollar, the CAD, the gold price, whatever's going on. We are trying to cover it and make it available to members. So again, this is also how we support the work that we do as a team of content creators, traders, and so on. we offer a community for traders who are looking to join. So if you enjoy my streams, enjoy my content, best way to support us is to smash that subscribe button, the like button. And if you'd like to join our community on Discord, like I said, link down below in the description. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show today. I think it was a really great day for just content and talking. I think having Ivan on was game changer. Always great to hear from him. And like I said, follow him on YouTube if you are not already. With that said, that is going to wrap it up for me. I think we got some more shows starting, though. We've got Ryan coming on, who is one of our weekly guests on A1 Trading's YouTube channel. You can find the link down below for that in the description, or you can just search up A1 Trading on YouTube. So excited to watch his show. He'll be on in just a few minutes here. So with that said, you guys, thank you for being here, and we'll see you back. What is today? Thursday. So we'll see you back tomorrow. See ya.
I know you were expecting Nick, but my name's Julie and I do the real work around here. I wanted to take a second to thank you guys for watching the show and tell you more about some free content that we offer. One of the things that we offer is a free email newsletter. So if you click the link down below, you can sign up for free market analysis, trading tips, and exclusive offers. Every once in a while, someone here at A1 Trading takes a crazy trade and you'll be the first one to know about it. See you guys next time.